Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, I'm good.
Great. So as soon as we go live, we are ready to go. I'm sorry, I know what you needed. Ready when you are.
Ready?
As soon as I am.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sean Davis. It is December 15th, 2022. The time is 12:06 p.m. And I will call the special meeting of the PlanRVA Executive Committee to order. Ms. Firestone, will you please take the roll?
Yes, Charles City County, Mr. Atkins.
Present.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Winslow. City of Richmond. Dr. Newville.
Here.
Thank you. Goochland County, Mr. Spoonhour. Hanover County, Chair Davis.
Present.
Henrico County, Reverend Nelson. New Kent County, sorry, New Kent County, I'm sorry.
Ms. Page.
Miss Page. Mr. Lockwood. Powhatan County, Mr. Byerly. Town of Ashland, Dr. McGraw.
Here.
Thank you. Did we have Mr. Winslow? There was an
He's
echo.
here.
Okay, great. Thank you. That concludes the roll call for attendance, and we do have a quorum.
And we just note that the chairman of the finance committee, Mr. Holland, is also here in attendance.
Okay.
Thank you. Dr. McGraw, I am going to ask, what's your time limitation? It looks, I think you're probably educating today. Are you on a time hack, sir?
I'm not really on a time lax. It's just I gotta I might have to mute my video to change classrooms or something like that. But I'll stay on the call the whole time.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. McGraw. So as we spoke last time at the regularly scheduled PlanRVA meeting, we have our audit that has been brought to us. Again, I want to commend Mr. Howell and all the work he's done on the finance committee, and by his recommendation and endorsement, we called this special meeting here, the executive committee, to have any questions addressed, any review from executive committee members, and a potential vote to submit this audit. To this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Van Dornick. Mr. Van Dornick, would you like to give us a brief, sir?
Gladly. Thank you for this time and your attention. Earlier this week, we actually redistributed the financial statements because we had a couple of changes that we needed to run through. So I'll briefly highlight those again based on what was on the email that was sent. But two changes actually affected the net surplus. One was pursuant to revenue that needed to be reclassed from fiscal 22 into fiscal 23. That related to one of the audit adjustments for an accounts payable, needed to match the expense and the revenue associated with that. And then a $6,000 adjustment that was just my failure to reverse an accrual of revenue when the invoices were actually recorded to the period of June. So the net effect of that was $17,000 in reduction to revenue in the bottom line. And then a third change was required as we reclassified revenue that was mistakenly recorded to an expense line that should have been in revenue. So it effectively increased both the total revenue and the total expense by $10,000, but no effect on the bottom line. So our net surplus for the government-wide, $82,764. Our addition to the fund balance was $74,261, less than what we discussed last week, but still a very significant improvement. And where we could have been. We have a good surplus going to our bottom line. Our fund balance is still strong. And then secondly, just want to reemphasize, these changes had no effect on the auditor's opinion. Mr. Rhodes is on the line as well when he can, ratify this as well. But the independent auditor's report is still an unmodified opinion. the opinion on internal controls and compliance with federal requirements is still unmodified. So both of those elements are still, where we want them. There are no issues, no internal control, no findings along those lines.
Thank you, Mr. Van Dornick. Are there any questions with that information? Again, it didn't change anything. One of them, and we've seen that maybe in our localities before, or even in our private sector businesses, where we have something in 1 year that should have been placed in another year. So we certainly recognize that. We did see there was just an administrative error, with no loss of funds, just an administrative error for accounting for the $6,000, and we've got that in the correct place. And then, of course, the third issue was addressed as well, but again, does not change the auditor's opinion. Are there any questions from committee members? Anything on this audit?
Mr. Chair,
Not from me. I think they, okay, I'm sorry.
Dr. Newbill, go ahead, ma'am.
No, I was just wanting to, and I think you've addressed this just now, that the modifications that were made did not affect the bottom line, actually, and we still have a clean audit.
That is correct, ma'am. Thank you for that note. Mr. Spoonhour, was that you, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just, no comments. I just wanted to apologize for logging in late, but I am here.
Not a problem. We're going to make a note. Ms. Firestone, please note that Mr. Spoonhour is here and was here for the full discussion. Hearing nothing else, Mr. Holland, while he is the chair of finance, we don't sit on executive committee, but certainly our finance chair. Do you have any final comments, sir? We certainly appreciate all of your efforts during this time.
No, sir. I thank you for accommodating. I thank Dan for making the adjustments and getting it right. And so I applaud that. And I still recommend adoption, receipt of the audit for the year.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And that recommendation is noted. Yes, ma'am, please.
Is a motion necessary? Is a motion needed at this time?
Yes, ma'am. If there's no further questions, we'll proceed with the motion. I'll make one final call. Are there any questions or any discussion on the presentation? Hearing none, I move that the review has been completed. I move that we approve the FY 2022 financial audit for purposes of submission to the Virginia Auditor and Public Accounts and to the Federal Clearinghouse by December 31st, 2022, pending no further findings or concerns which were not reported, or as reported by the auditor, and authorize the executive director and her staff to initiate and complete that task. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
We have a second by Dr. Newbill. At this time, I'll ask, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Firestone, please.
Yes, I would just like to commend the audit committee and staff. I remember when we had some significant challenges, and so this is a major improvement. Just want to say thank you and to recognize their work, Mr. Holland and company.
Thank you for those comments, and that certainly is on the record. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Firestone, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. Atkins?
Aye.
Mr. Winslow?
Sorry, I got some connectivity issues here.
Got it. Thank you. Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Aye.
Chair Davis?
Aye.
Dr. McGraw?
Aye.
The motion carries.
The motion carries. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of PlanRVA, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a very happy holiday season to you, your families, and certainly your constituents and your localities. Thank you for all of your leadership. And I do want to thank staff, Mr. Van Dornick, Ms. Heater. I want to thank all of them for the work that they've put into this, and certainly our auditor, we're very grateful. Mr. Holland, we're thankful for your leadership as well. This would not have happened without all the work that you put into it. The time is 12:15 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. All right. Take care.